Hi everyone and welcome. If you're new here, my name is Brittany. Today I'm sharing with you a sugar-free brownie recipe. I found this online. I will leave the link in the description box. It's my first time making it. They turned out so good, so chocolatey, so good. Could not tell they were sugar-free. So these are the ingredients you need. The first thing you need to do is take 2 whole sticks of butter and 1 tablespoon and melt it in a separate bowl. It does have to be separate. I recommend to do that first so it will cool completely. You can't have it at room temperature. It does have to be melted. You're going to mix that in later with the sugar. So the next thing I'm going to do into my big glass bowl here is I'm going to mix in all my dry ingredients. So as far as everything you will need all-purpose flour, some baking powder, cocoa powder, stevia or 1-to-1 sugar ratio if you want to do sugar-free, or regular sugar if you want to make it, with regular sugar. You also need 2 eggs. It does recommend 3 eggs, but it said if you don't want a cake-like batter, then to use 2. You also need some sugar-free or semi-sweet chocolate chips. And then you also need some vanilla extract, but instead of using vanilla extract, I used 1 teaspoon of the sugar-free caramel syrup that I had, and that to me was perfect. It kind of gave it like a caramel taste as well. So you're going to need 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and you're also going to need 3/4 cups of unsweetened cocoa powder, and this is just the Albertson brand that I found at the store. So now you're going to mix all 3 of these ingredients together until well combined. Now into the bowl with the butter, you're going to add in 1.5 cups of sugar alternative. I use stevia brand, and to me that is too power, and I don't see how it's equivalent 1-to-1 sugar. I feel like it's too strong, so I only used 1 cup and about 1/8 of a cup into the butter, and I found that that was perfect. It didn't need any more sugar. Once you have that mix, you're going to pour in half of it and mix around with the dry ingredients, and then you can pour in the remaining. I did find at this step that it got super thick, so I ended up putting in 1 egg and trying to break it off of my mixer, but it didn't work, so I ended up having to clean it out and use the red spatula, so that way it would help mix it a lot better. And now you're going to add in your second egg and mix that in together. And then once that's done, you can add in your 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract or the caramel syrup that I'm using. So now you need 1 cup of chocolate chips. I used half a cup of the dark chocolate Hershey's, as well as half a cup of the Albertson brand semi-sweet chocolates. And then you're just going to fold those in. Alright, so you're just going to use a 9x9 square baking pan, and I've already put some nonstick butter at the butter spray at the bottom of it. It did recommend using parchment paper, but I didn't have any on hand, and nothing seemed to stick. It came right out of the dish once it was done cooling off. Right, once you get it all leveled and put into your pan, you're just going to bake this at 325 for 20 to 25 minutes. Mine took about 27. And as you can tell, the butter that I used kind of rose up on the side, but it was perfectly fine. And I also put chocolate chips in there on top of it, halfway baking, so that way it would be extra chocolatey on top. Right, and once these cooled, I moved them and put them onto another plate, and I cut them into squares. These are so good, you cannot tell that they were sugar-free. The link will be in the description box so you guys can make it yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.